This week on the podcast, me and Ben went through Counterparts, the difference between Hell and Home. Ben Quad, or Ben, as I will now call them. All there is a really good album that I actually really liked already. I can't remember that. There's all there is something that
I'm scared that's all there is.
I'm scared. That's all there is. Thank you, Ben. This is
You're
why
welcome.
you can do the intro next week. We also then chatted through the slam dunk lineup, why Ben is obsessed with, or was obsessed with stickers, but doesn't think a shiny would do it for him anymore. Uh, and that was it. Enjoy. Go on then, Ben. I asked you to listen to Counterparts,
Yes.
the difference between Hell and Home,
Yeah.
which I, just to tee it off, I somehow heard this band somewhere about 10 years ago. And going back to what we were saying before we started recording this podcast, the idea was to basically force each other to listen to things that we recommend to each other that we never listen to.
Yeah. Forced
Um,
listen.
the Forced Listen pod. Um, and basically, yeah, I sent this to you. I don't think you listened to it, or maybe you did. I don't know. But I am buzzing to hear your opinion because I thought they should be up your street.
Yeah. And I've definitely heard them before, so I may have listened to this.
Oh,
But
okay.
actually, I haven't listened to this again. I think this has happened a couple of times where it's not this album I got into, and I refuse to like. If I hear a band and I like them, I just refuse to check out anything else by them. Apparently, it's like one song, one album, and I'm like, oh, I like that. If only there was more stuff like that. But I'm not going to Google it. It's so fucking dumb. It does my head in. Sometimes years later, I'll be like, I should check out more by that band because I really like them, and then realise they're great. But yeah, so I think it was one of those. I don't know which album it was. Was it No Servant of Mine was on it? That's the only song I remembered. Was it after this one? I think
Think it's after this one,
this
but
one's
this is the
early.
one. This is the one. I've done the thing that I should have done with story so far with this, which is recommend the best album, not the
Right.
new. To me, the best album, like not the newest. So, because I think that's the best way to go, rather than because sometimes newest's risky, like we found out
Yeah.
before. You can't remember what you recommended, but you're like, it's their new one. The other one's better, and we keep
Yeah.
doing it. We
I
just do
think
the
you need
best one.
I think you need context sometimes for a band, don't you? There's a few people I
History.
recommended Turnstile to who were like
Mm.
hardcore fans and actually couldn't get into it. And I was like, maybe you need like context for Turnstile because the new one is like a big rock, and there's some great hardcore songs on there, but it's like ostensibly a big old rock album. So
Oh
actually,
yeah,
if you've got that context of them coming up like being a hardcore band and the older albums, I think sometimes you do need to like grow up with a band to get something. Obviously, when you're in that, you can't necessarily see it, so you just assume
yeah, yeah.
people are going to get the same thing as you out of it. But yeah, no, that is so. Sorry, was this your favorite? Are you saying this was your favorite, or this was
This was that. This was the first album I heard, which
this was just
inevitably a lot of the time becomes the favorite, doesn't it? Because it's just
yeah,
like the first one, the first dipping your toe. But yeah, this was the first one I heard, and just was instantly like, "Fucking yes!" When I heard it, I was just like, "This is a bit of me." It had a bit of everything for me that I like in a heavy band.
yeah.
But yeah, go on, hit me with it.
I really liked it. I kind of knew I would. Like I said, I liked that album I'd heard before. I really like. Yeah, No Seven of Mine is the one that sticks in my head. I think I must have again just got obsessed with that song probably. So I knew I was going to like it. I'd say the first two songs are good, but I don't actually listen to that many heavy bands, and the ones I listen to tend to have like a groove or something a bit cheeky about them. I want it to be a bit like tongue in cheek's going too far, but I want my heavy bands to know being in a heavy band is like inherently silly.
Yeah,
That's all I want.
you, yeah, you,
That
you,
doesn't
you
mean they
like.
have to be silly. I think Knock Loose are aware that being in a heavy band is a bit silly. I can't define it, but there's something like something of the silly goose in the heavy bands I like. And those first two songs on this I felt were a bit like earnest. They hit my ears a bit earnestly. I don't know why. And then there was something in the third song. I think there's a riff near the end. We have had a bit of a gap, I must admit. So I'm going off my notes, mate, here. But where there was like a big old groove to it. And from then on, I was in. And then listening to it back, I really like the first two songs. I think it just kind of hit my ears a bit wrong, maybe. But yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, it's an absolute banger. I really like it. But I kind of knew I liked them. I think in my head they were a bit more like scene, maybe not as
yeah.
heavy.
No, they're heavy. I think
Yeah,
they're really really heavy. I thought they were a bit. I don't know. Just insert random like as I prevail. I don't know. I thought or like who I'll quite happily go on record and say it's shit.
I don't even know if it's a real band. It just sounds like you like
Yeah, but
smashed
that's what I
those.
mean. They just exactly. They just sound like one of those hardcore bands that aren't really like kind of as hardcore as I see hardcore.
Yeah,
Like they're not rotting out or whatever.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's hardcore. And I feel
Yeah,
like Counterparts are much further over that way. Like the legit heavy band, not too I don't know, like polished almost.
yeah,
They are quite polished though. They sound fucking tight, but like
yeah. I think it's
it's that
maybe. Sorry, go on.
it's delivery sometimes, isn't it? It's sometimes things, and the only thing I can do is do the horns. Sometimes the things are a bit too yeah,
Yeah,
like, and that just immediately to me is just fuck off. I don't want to listen to you.
yeah,
Whenever like that, just I don't hate them or anything like that, but that's what like Bullet for My Valentine or bands like that just do to me. They just make me think of probably the reason I've never gone to download that stuff. Loses me. I find it a bit cheesy.
yeah.
Um, Not saying that I'm cool all of the time, but yeah, I just find it a bit like, yeah, a bit like I don't know. Ugh.
Yeah, I
Makes
totally,
me feel a bit.
especially on
Ugh.
record, I totally get it. It's like I say, like I think people think of me as a heavy music guy. Nobody thinks
Hmm.
of me like that. But there's actually very few bands I like, and I think a
Same.
lot of it comes down to that polish. I cannot stand it when I hear. And there's bands who I like know are good, but I can't push past it on record. Like I'll say it, like Architects, like Bring Me
Hmm.
the Horizon. Like on record, I cannot push past it because it sounds well. I can't even hear the riffs normally. You can't really pick them out because it's just like so produced.
Hmm.
Whereas like the bands I like tend to be like Norma Jean and Every Time I Die, which just sounds like filth, but still really
Yeah,
well produced. Obviously, the sounds.
I agree. I agree. Like, there's a couple of While She Sleeps and Architect songs that I don't mind, and I've always been quite like I said that not the first two Bring Me the Horizon albums, but like the middle ones, I actually quite liked, like
Yeah,
Sepaternal and There Is a Hell. Like, I really liked those. Um, but they were the ones where they were just before they like slid too far the other way. Maybe Sepaternal, you could say, but it's just so good that you can't not like it. That to me was like Slipknot,
yeah,
Sepaternal. That was like the whole of that album just sounded like Duality, which is a banger track. You can't not like Duality by Slipknot if you like heavy music.
yeah.
Don't say you don't like it because you do like
I do like it. I
it.
do like it.
It is just a banger. It's
Mm,
pop. It is pop because it is just very well written, right? Like,
yeah,
but yeah, so I'm with you. I struggle with those bands. All of, again, friends of mine are always like, oh, you'd like Architects. And I'm like, I've listened to a couple of songs, a couple are all right. But I go through two songs on their new song or whatever. And then I'm just like, yeah, I don't
yeah,
know. It just loses me. But I'm the same as you. I'm quite pernickety about my heavy bands. And Counterparts are now one of they're in the gang, is what I'd
yeah.
say for
I can
Counterparts.
see them getting them in my gang, but I don't know why I'd had them in the other gang before, which I think is why I hadn't really explored them, and is what I was expecting from this. So it's maybe why it started off on the wrong foot. But it's not. Yeah, they are very heavy. And it
Mm.
turns out, I mean, I shouldn't have been surprised because have you heard of a band called End? END? Because this is how like uninquisitive I am about music. Because I really like End. They did like one of my favorite, well, two of my favorite metal albums in the last 5 years. And it turns out it's the same singer as Counterparts. But I had no idea.
Oh, oh
I'd
my
never
god! Well, I need to
explored
go
them.
and listen to.
Yeah, and
You
it
know,
is
you
like,
can't be your recommendation today, but I need to go and listen to them.
yeah, it's not my choice today. But I mean,
Cool.
hilariously, it's like he's gone, yeah, Counterparts isn't scratching a heavy itch I've got.
Oh,
So I need to do
so
another, a
End.
heavier band because End is fucking disgusting.
Oh, I'm in. I'm in.
Yeah, I love it. But he sounds different in it, to be fair, as well. But I had
Mm.
no idea it was him.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, they obviously are very legit
Talented
in
boys.
terms of
Yeah.
their heaviness, and I respect that.
Mm.
Yeah, so I think it's the singer. It's this guy called. This is an aside. We will go back to the album. But Will Putney is the guitarist in End as well.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, I because I knew that name as well. I was like, why do I know that? And when I googled him, he's in like loads of bands. So Fit for an
Mm.
Autopsy. He's in Better Lovers, the new Every Time I Die band, who are fucking
Yeah.
great, who I've really come round to. But he's
Well, I'm
also like,
still not quite fully round.
yeah, it's the voice, man. I know it's really
Yes.
controversial,
Yeah.
isn't it?
It's, yeah.
Because
All right.
Dillinger is so
Sure.
legendary. But
Yeah.
I'm in now. I've kind of pushed past it because
Oh,
he is
nice.
great, and the riffs are fucking insane.
Yeah. It's good riffs.
Um, But yeah, he's also produced like every album ever. If you go on his
That's why I know the name.
yeah, he produced this, but like loads of Eated albums, just everything. What a legend.
Mm.
But yeah,
Mm.
as an aside, so definitely check out End. What are we talking about?
Will do.
Oh yeah. So also another band who are much older than maybe I'm just older than I think I am. No, that's wait. Yes. They're a lot older than I think they are. Not
I
as
always think they're
the
like
band.
25.
They're 74, all of them. No, they were formed in 2007. I almost said born then as well. They were born in 2007 as a band, which surprises me, man. I don't know why.
Yeah, I think I
Is
discovered
that
them maybe like 8 years ago, something maybe. I
yeah,
think this album came out. So yeah, that does. They look young because the drummer. I think seen the drummer before I'd heard the band, which is weird
yeah.
because he used to do quite a lot of. It's like a lot of his playthroughs, like of him playing the songs up on YouTube.
Oh yeah.
It's like Kyle Brownlee, and I think I followed him or something, and that was how I found the band. Or I can't remember exactly how I found it. It was through drums. I remember that, and yeah, I remember that was years ago. And I every time, even now, when I see them, they're quite they've got boyish good looks.
That's what maybe that's what it is. And
Yeah,
also, I just get into all of these bands quite late, so I assume they're like new child bands. And you have to bear in mind the years of just doing the local scene as well. Like they're not coming out, they're not forming in 2013, and then the world knows who they are they? Like
no, true.
they're going to be in Canada. Canada's massive as well, so they're probably in Canada for
Mm.
5 years and then breaking out. Was this their debut album?
No, I think there's one before this,
Could say that'd be
maybe.
a long old because this was 2013, so
Mm.
that's a lot of tour in Canada. I think they're
The
another band.
wilderness.
Yeah. Who's the singer's the only member left as well, which I'm fascinated by. And I'm sure we've talked about it before. I love
Oh,
it.
okay.
I love seeing band timelines. Wikipedia do it really well. They've got like the line.
Yeah, the
You can see
little
the
blue
crosswalk.
line. Yeah, yeah.
And the
I
Norma
love
Jean
that.
one's hilarious because they have no original members, which blows my
That's
mind.
insane.
You are a
Is that?
different band.
Yeah, that gets into. It's a bit
Triggers
only
brilliant.
fools and horses triggers broom. Yeah, that's
Mm.
exactly what I was getting at.
It's so
Are you
great.
still Norma Jean?
Yeah, exactly. It's mad. But yeah, only Brendan. I want to say Brendan Murphy is the original, which is fascinating.
Strong name.
But yeah, I haven't talked about it at all. I really like it. What did I write down? Debris, that absolutely slaps.
Oh,
A big tune. I love it. Great choice. Great cover. Good song
mm,
titles. It's all good. I'm
mm,
here for it. I think they intentionally
I
did
agree.
one word out, like song names,
Yeah, I think so. It's
which I
quite
like it.
straight. I don't mind that,
Yeah, if you're making a choice.
especially for a heavy band. Like
Yeah,
sometimes a heavy band that feels a bit more like metal, doesn't it? Like to be a bit more debris.
yeah,
Debris is pretty
exactly.
metal. Yeah,
Again, you can't have much opinion on them really, but they're good for the solid. Slate, soil. Maybe they're a bit metal.
they are a
Maybe
bit
it is a
metal
bit
actually.
horny
Now
in
you
the head.
started saying them.
Yeah, now I'm looking at them. It doesn't help that on Wiki they're all in like bunny ears, so quite slay.
That makes them more metal.
Yeah, wither. Yeah, Debris was the only one I liked it all, but I wrote down Debris. I think it is because that was my in maybe because that's track three. And there was something about that last riff that I was like, oh, hang about. It's maybe
Yeah,
not what I thought it was, and yeah,
it drops a little bit, doesn't it?
yeah, I don't know. I can't even remember what it was about it, which isn't much help for this. But and yeah, like I say, when I listened to it again, I was fully in. I will go back to this. I've really enjoyed it. And yeah, they were a band I knew vaguely, but again, hadn't really made any effort with them. So I'm glad I listened to this. Um, what was the one I listened to then? Tragedy Will Find You, I guess.
Oh yeah, that the one the like red cover. I think that's
Yeah,
got. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That oh, the album titles are pretty good as well.
they are,
Actually,
aren't they?
they're
Different
like
Between Hell and Home is good.
yeah, like I feel like they're exactly what you'd want from a heavy like band's album titles. The
Yeah,
newest album, which was 2022, a eulogy for those still here, um, is actually really good. And
yeah.
you're not you anymore. The one after Tragedy Will Find Us is really good. I haven't actually listened to Nothing Left to Love, but I probably should. Oh, they had two albums before that, mate. Just looking now.
Yeah, I'm just looking as well. Sorry.
Yeah. I
Um,
kind of jumped in 2013, I think, and
yeah,
then
yeah, they've
went
been
through.
the boys have been working and still going as well.
Mm.
Oh, they're on
Yeah, they're.
Victory. I think this album came out on Victory, which is such a legendary
Oh,
record label. That
I had I had a prized possession that was just a Victory Records sticker for a while. It
really,
was a big one, yeah. Because you remember when stickers were like you couldn't get stickers, like you get stickers for your favorite record label or whatever
oh, it's so
in a
good.
CD, and I'd have like a drive-through record sticker, or I've got a giant. Remember like Atticus, the bird
Yeah,
thing that like I think it's like Mark from Blink or whatever. I've got a giant sticker of that that's just in a folder like under my bed because I didn't have the like I just couldn't bear to stick it on anything.
you don't
That's
want
is
to
that
waste
man?
it, do you?
Oh, but I've technically wasted it by not using it.
Yeah, I guess so.
I
Stickers
do
used to be
this
a
with things.
much bigger deal, didn't they?
I might. I've always thought about doing this, and I might do it now. I've got a bit of space in here, but I was going to get an old bass drum head, and
Yeah,
then just stick them all on it, like proper, like old school garage band, like
so that's a good
big
idea.
drum, and then hang it up here or something. Got loads of space on this wall still. Thought that would be a good way to use them
Yeah, that
without
would be. I wondered where
wasting
you were
them.
going then when you said, I don't know, I've got the space in here. We're like, going to buy 1 million stickers.
Just Danny, we
Hmm.
can't see your face for the podcast, mate.
Purely sticker now.
I am
They
sick of
were,
that.
my childhood was like 80% sticker based, I reckon. Between
Mm.
football stickers. And you're right, like, yeah, like bands I'd never listened to, record labels, so
Mm.
sticker based. And I haven't used,
It is.
I haven't used a sticker for nigh on 11 years.
Oh, I've got some cool ones on the back of my. I can't show you because it's literally what I'm looking at right
Yeah,
now, my
yeah,
laptop. But I've got
physically.
some cool ones on my laptop. I get some cool ones occasionally just because of work and stuff. But
But when
I
you say
moved on to
cool sticker, Danny, what do you
what's
mean
a.
nowadays?
Oh, I don't
I
know.
don't know
I
if I
probably
think any
I
stickers.
might cut off the podcast if I look.
I know this is a me
I
problem. I
can't do
just
it.
feel like age has dulled me to the sticker. I don't even
I
think a
think.
shiny would excite me anymore.
Oh, what? You've changed.
Oh no, I have. I don't like stickers anymore.
I'm gonna cut this bit. I don't even think a shiny would excite me anymore.
I think you mean cut to for prosthetic.
No, I'm just putting that out on the
Yeah,
internet
it's not on
so
the.
that people know you're dead inside and you don't feel anything anymore. Which
Oh,
again sounds like a new Counterparts album.
yeah. I talked about
Uh,
stickers more.
it's fine. Yeah,
This
everyone
is
knows
good.
this is good. Um, what are you giving it out of 10?
I'd give it a 7.
Oh
I
wow,
don't know why that feels hard. No, we say this every time. A 7 is very positive.
seven's good.
Yeah, this is a strong 7 because we're not allowed point 0.5, so we just have to say strong 7 and wink.
Yeah.
You know what we mean? Yeah, definitely. Like there is no doubt. There's no chuff on this. It's like
No.
really good length, solid. There is not a single song that you're like, oh yeah, that could have done without that. Solid.
Yeah, 100%.
I love his voice as well. It's really uh, good. I couldn't think of anything better to say. He's got a
God,
good voice.
you got any adjectives, mate?
No,
Bloody hell.
no, that's
Good.
literally all I've got. So I've
This
just
is
seen
good.
talking of reviews, the Metacritic gave it 79 out of 100, and we're not allowed to use point 0.5. That's
This is
fucking
what
insane.
I think it makes you think more when it's either a 7 or an 8 because it's quite definitive.
I agree. Because where have you come up with 79 from? Like
Yeah,
what?
that sounds like that's like FIFA ratings on the cards, and it's
Yeah.
79 for pace.
They're in the office, like, oh, it's not quite an 80. It's up there. It doesn't feel
Very
like an
close.
80 to me.
Yeah, but what would you have given it if you could give it a point?
Oh, 7.5.
At 7.9. That is
Oh, yeah.
79, Ben.
How can I say
Okay.
7.9?
I thought you were going to say I would give it a 7.9, and I was like, Ben, that is 79 out of 100.
It's a good point. I thought the point system was purely point 0.5, though, in my defense.
Oh, what, you just have halves?
Yeah. We
Oh,
can
you
discuss
never.
this, but it feels like admin.
Yeah, we won't do this on the actual thing. What time should we do the next one?
Oh, sorry, one more. Thrash Hits gave it 5.5 stars out of 6. These
Oh, I was
people are.
about to lay into Thrash Hits then and be like, what a bunch of, but that's actually out of 6. That's just trying.
What are you doing? These
We
people
should have
need to
done.
be stopped.
We should have done it out of 11 on hindsight, but
Yeah, we should have something
um,
stupid.
yeah, and just a nice little nod.
Yeah,
I'd give this a 9. I
would
actually,
you?
this is up there with one of probably on Spotify. I think a couple of years ago I was like Counterparts top 1% or whatever of like played, because this album just I ran during lockdown. This and the Tragedy Will Find Us. I ran so much to this because it's just such. If you know you're running and stuff, I highly suggest running to this because it's such a good pace.
Yeah, it's a good shout because it's not too fast, is it? It's fairly.
You will, you will end up going as you're running, but
Yeah.
yeah,
I pull
having to
worse
do
out.
that. That's how you run anyway.
Yeah, I've been watching it.
Nice.
The
All right.
that top 1% thing on Spotify. So I'm going to go off another tangent. A,
Go
do
on.
you believe it? Two, uh, do you get a weird sense of pride? Because I do, and it's fucking irrelevant.
Yeah, I do. I do get a weird like, oh well.
What?
I basically it gives you that thing of like, well, they wouldn't be around if I wasn't listening.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. I
like
haven't bought any merch.
yeah. I've got a Counterparts t-shirt. I'm just gonna add. I wore it on the last one,
Oh, lovely.
but a nice little pink number. But yeah, no, I'm with you. Like, it does give you this weird sense of like, oh, I must be quite important to the band.
It's
And I
very
do.
funny.
Are you in the top 1%? I'm not sure. I think it's a bit of like social engineering from
Yeah,
Spotify.
because I think I got it for the National when they. Do you remember when the bands were doing videos
Mm.
on the Wrapped? So I got video of it. Well, no, I'm aware it wasn't for me, but I mean, it really felt like I genuinely had a buzz. Like maybe.
Are you gonna say? Are you about to say that the National had a video? It was like, "Thanks for listening to us" or whatever,
Yeah,
and you just took the generic video that recorded and sent to 8 million people
yeah,
as Ben. Thank you.
yeah. And I knew it wasn't true, but it's part of me was like, bloody hell. But I don't think I listen to the National that much, and they're really big. So there's no way I'm in the top 1%. Maybe I'd had a national year, I don't know.
A National bit. That was a dark year. I
Yeah,
think that
Jesus.
I love the National so much, but I do think I stopped listening to them for a while because I did find them quite.
Yeah.
If you're not in a good place, then don't listen to the National. It's like one of those like kind of or
Oh,
do
yeah.
because if you want to wallow, they're
Yeah.
good. Yeah,
Then the year after, you got a message from Real Big Fish, didn't
yeah. I cheered up a bit, mate. I was
Well,
fucking
I'm listening.
skanking.
Yeah, 1%. I loved Real Big Fish. I take that back. It's unfair. I loved them.
You started with Scar though,
I
so
started as a Scar boy. We'll definitely do a Scar episode
all
because
right.
it needs defending, I think.
Oh, interesting. Okay,
Right.
let's do that.
Yes. Sorry, we haven't talked about the cover. Let's do that quickly. It's great. I'm just looking at it now. Sorry, I've lost all words today. Everything's just
Which is
great.
great for doing a podcast.
I really like it. It feels like one of those when you first look at it, you're like, oh, that's really nice. I'd have that up in the living room. But then when you look at it closer, it's quite like GCSE art project, I would say. Like two of the
Yeah.
photos aren't actually very good,
No,
and I'm not a pro.
no, it
Um,
is a bit random.
yeah, I mean, this is the closest I've ever looked at it. I've only just realised that. So I guess it doesn't really matter. At a glance, it's very pretty. I like it.
Yeah, it's quite
I like that
simple,
it's
quite
not like
minimalist. I
a
mean, it's
hard
in keeping. No, it's in keeping with the song titles though, like minimalist.
Yes, that is true. So yeah, I'm
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 looking at it
fine with
now.
it. Do better.
Go on then.
Danny,
Yeah.
I gave you my namesakes this week. Ben, Ben anyway, not Quad. Ben Quad.
Ben, Ben.
Ben, Ben,
Surely
Ben, Ben, Ben. That'd be a great band name.
that's what they
Um,
should have been called.
yeah, I'm scared that's all there is. The album by Ben Quad, who I know nothing about, so I've got no facts.
Don't worry about
They're from
it. Okay.
Oklahoma. I don't think they've got a
Nice.
wiki. That's it. What did you think?
I text you and had to hold back because I was going to ruin the podcast.
Yeah.
and I think I just said you fucking nailed it or something to that effect. Uh, this is easily the best recommendation you've ever had. I know we're only what are we in
Yeah.
7 episodes or whatever,
Yeah.
so don't get too big headed because it. You've also rated some stuff very badly.
Yeah.
Um, but this was a banger. This
Oh,
was this was so good. Like to the point where I was like, how the fuck haven't I heard this?
this is
Like I
music
was,
players.
and you just told me that they're really small in the back, like before we started recording, and I didn't realize they didn't. I don't know. It's well produced. Like it doesn't. They don't sound small or whatever.
No.
Like, and here's a naff name for a band. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
The album title's cool, but yeah, it's a rubbish band name. I thought.
Yeah. I don't think it's
Or
one of their
maybe it.
not one of their names. I mean, that'd be weird, wouldn't it? But it's not.
Yeah. No, I guessed before maybe they were all called Ben, and that was
Yeah.
what I was like. Ben. Was better. But yeah, no, I loved it. They reminded me a little bit of Knuckle Puck,
Yeah.
but slightly more like technical. I think is probably the word I'd use. Maybe not technical, just like techie. Like musicianship was
Right.
like
Yeah.
next level, quite complicated. Their drummer is a beast. Like I literally like first song was like he doesn't need to play that, but I'm glad he did because it sounded amazing.
Yeah.
And he changes what he's playing constantly. There's no like I do like that about him. They really jump aroundy.
Oh yeah.
You love bands that do that. Like
So
they're not. It's not standard, so like Fruit Galaxy level of jumping around, but it is very like it's this, then we're there, then that. Like it's hyperactive.
yeah. It
It's a
doesn't feel
hyperactive
like
pop punk.
oh yeah. I don't think it feels like really showy or math rocky though. Like it's more
No.
of a. I think even tiny moving parts are like more techie sounding, but it
Hmm.
has got a lot in common with them. I would say like that kind of
Hmm.
poppy
Yeah,
math
yeah, yeah.
pop punk kind of vibe.
I wrote down, which is probably like a good summary. I always just write down random sentences of notes, like as if I'm an actual reviewer, not just chatting to you and the 6 people watching on our YouTube channel. But I was like, it's a perfect blend of like being technically perfect and like pop.
Yeah,
Like that's why it's so good because it's so technically good, but also it's so fucking like poppy and
yeah,
catchy and happy. Like
yeah,
I put it on and I was just like, this is just you can't help but be happy listening to this band. Like they're just like, which gives it that pop punk like that. Pop punk's to me sometimes just like sunshine. Do you know what I mean? Like
yeah.
it's like that's like it's meant to be upbeat and happy and fun
Oh
like
yeah,
version of punk, isn't it? So yeah, like I loved it. It was so good. I loved it to the point where I've at least and we've missed a week here, so we're like 2 weeks out because you were away. But in the last 2 weeks, I've listened to it at least 10 times.
oh, this is
So
superb.
like it's got it's just got everything. It's got a lovely little bounce to it, which is why I'm regretting starting you on the story so far, like newest album, because I think if I'd gone back to like the beginning, you would have got this like bounceness from them,
Right,
and you would have
yeah,
probably liked them more. But like we said, I think we've learned our lessons now. It's just recommend the best album,
yeah,
not the newest. And definitely when we do this, we can go back to the newest ones.
yeah.
But yeah, I've been obsessed with it. I'm not going to lie. I didn't
Amazing.
realize. I didn't realize until today when I clicked on it because Spotify only shows you like when you're on your phone, it shows you like first 5 tracks or whatever, and then you
Yeah,
just press play. Right? I never scrolled down to see how many tracks are on it, and I scrolled down today, and there's only 7 tracks on it.
yeah. I always give you
You
short
reckon?
ones. You're so lucky.
Yeah, I know. You recommended an EP to me,
Yeah, ridiculous.
uh, but I, it doesn't feel like that though.
No, it
Like the
doesn't.
songs are
And they're
all
calling it
like,
an album. Where do we
hmm,
where do we draw the line?
I think it's got to have 10.
I'm not happy with 7.
I
Unless
think
it's like
ten's got to be an
obviously
out.
I think sometimes you can go by length. So if it's like a 7, 40 minute, 45 minute like,
Hmm.
something some sort of post rock or something. That's different.
Yeah,
But this, come on lads.
yeah.
Call
Your
it a
Mogwai
video,
or
it's
something's
fine.
fine.
I'm
Yeah,
not saying you have to write more songs. Just don't call it an album.
yeah. It's a
You're
EP.
lying to me, Ben Quad. And I call it.
Jesus.
And where's Ben Quad?
Who is
Um,
Ben Quad?
did you listen to any of their other stuff, or did you do what I normally do and just ignore it?
No, I just figured I'd listen to this one album and then die.
Yeah, it's the best way. Yeah, it's the Ben Davis way. Absolutely. Yeah,
So
again,
yeah, no, I've not listened to anything else.
no, fair play. I think I have, but I don't think there's much really. It's like EPs and stuff. Their EPs are probably like 14 tracks long, the Maniacs. But yeah, I know so little about them. Like this came out in 22, didn't it? But I assume they haven't been around for that long.
Yeah,
Who knows? It's great. I'm
we
glad you
we
liked it.
don't know.
I thought
I
you
had a
would.
little I had a little look, see if they were on tour. I thought maybe this could be a little meet
Love
up for
that.
us. We could do a pod and pub, but they don't seem to be touring in the US.
Yeah,
Don't think anyone knows who they are. Like, I think they're going to be the kind of band where, yeah, Tiny Moving Parts come over and they're supporting.
yeah,
Like, or
exactly.
that kind of job will probably be the chance we get to see him. But yeah, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. It was great. It was a great, great balance. And yeah, I I do agree with you. I don't think technically it is an album. It is a collection of songs.
Yeah, just great.
Uh, but yeah, I think it needs to be. I think you could get away with nine, but
Yeah,
10 to me is an album.
yeah. Nine would make me uncomfortable, but I would agree. You could get away with it.
Make me physically
Yeah,
uncomfortable.
nine makes me really
Uh,
absolutely. Good song titles. What we saying?
Good song. I thought I like it. It's a good mix of random ones that
Yeah,
feel a bit random and like almost a bit funny. Like it's a good like Jonah of Hill made
that.
me laugh. It's great. There's some nice play on words ones, but then there's also some that are just kind of feel like they were like a band joke or something random someone's read somewhere. Like I like we've said before, we like those kind of song titles.
Yeah, yeah. There's a
Blood
few
for the
like that, isn't there?
God.
Like it's a King Clade, and you got to learn to listen, Lou. Like you know they're in jokes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Unclench your jaw. Like that was
Yeah,
like it sounds like something someone's mum said to them at some point
yeah.
or whatever. Or like that's what I did like that. They sound fun.
They do.
The song titles sound fun.
Even
And
like
like
Blood for the Blood God. That's like
yeah,
when it from a band like that, you're like, oh yeah, that's ironic. I love it. Like,
yeah, yeah, yeah. It sounds like that should be a Counterparts album.
yeah, yeah, exactly. I don't think Ben Quad are sticking the horns in the air when they're introducing that.
Definitely not.
But if they are, it's
Definitely not.
ironic.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. 100%. I think yeah, no, I was happy with that. I was happy with the album title.
Yeah.
Our album
Really good.
artwork. I know we just sort of said this about Counterparts. Actually, it's not a million miles away, and it's just like a picture of some city place.
Yeah, do
It
you know
ever,
what?
it ever so slightly reminded me of this is niche reference, but you know when you like go in the range and they have pictures of like a street with like a New York cab in it, and
Yeah,
everything's black and white,
100%.
and then the cab's yellow. That's
Yeah.
what it felt like at a glance to me for some reason. I was just like, it's a bit like basic bitch living room.
Yeah. Do you know, I was going to say 100% the same as I said for Counterparts. Like, I've seen it quite a lot and always thought, oh, that's a cool cover. And now I'm
Mm,
looking at it more intently.
I'm
It's
not
quite
sure.
an average photo, isn't it?
Yeah, like it feels like someone with not that much style would have bought this from the range and put it on their wall in their living room,
Yeah. With Live, Laugh,
along with
Love
it.
written on it.
Yeah, with like a cream sofa and like a silver mirror. Well, all mirrors are silver, but a mirror is silver around the outside. And their TV would be on a glass TV stand. That's what it
Drive in
looks
my
like.
living room. Feels so
Is it
actually.
actually? Is it actually? Have you got live laugh?
My house is completely green.
That's the
Uh,
best way.
yeah. Oh, good stuff, man. What we're saying ratings wise, I'm intrigued. It's going to be high.
Oh, it's hard to give. It's hard to give a nine
Yeah, that feels
because
big, doesn't
I
it?
think that the albums in that space, I'm giving a nine for them being sounding amazing, but also like again, like having a sounds a bit lovey dovey, but a place somewhere in your heart. Do you know what I
No, I
mean?
think
Like
that's
like
totally
you
fair.
listen to it for a period of time and you love it.
Yeah,
Ten's obviously just going to be like the pinnacle of that. Both you think it sounds amazing and it is that, but
yeah.
sometimes it can be there because they're technically really good and it means something, or vice versa. So I'm going to go eight.
It's good.
If we were doing, which we're not, so I'm not even
Yeah.
going to do it. But yeah, it was. I did think about a nine, but I can't give an album with 7 tracks a nine.
Exactly. We've
Otherwise,
got
what are
some
we
number.
doing here?
Yeah. I think that's a really good point though about like some sort of emotional attachment. I do find it
Mm.
hard imagining giving an album a 9 or a 10, going into it cold, like having no. It would have to be really fucking good, basically.
Yeah, it'd have to be like
It's a,
catch me proper.
yeah,
Like, I mean, this did catch me, but
yeah,
it's
yeah,
not
but
got. Usually, albums are like I said it with like. I actually said this at work about I work in gaming, but like about games sometimes like the best games you played aren't always like the ones that are the best games there because like I gave an example like me and my brother played Gears of War, like a game that's pretty good, but like we played it together when we were younger, and now I just have think it's a great game even though
yeah,
it's more about the story behind it than
yeah,
the actual game. It's the same with music for me sometimes as well. Like I like it a lot because of a place in time. Do you know what I mean? Like we said with the Taking Back Sunday, Decade Under, not Decade Under the Influence, but that one that we spoke about. What's that album even called? It's gone from my head, even though I've put it up there in terms of ratings.
thank God
But
now.
yeah, like that's again a place in time where I just had a CD player in my car and that was just in it
Yeah.
constant. Like, just makes it better.
Oh
I don't know
yeah.
why.
Like I was
Nostalgia,
saying,
really.
man, context is really important in music. I think people pretend it's not, and you have to score everything evenly and like I don't know how good it
Yeah,
actually is. Like, well, no, like everything has context. I can't take that out of it, if
yeah,
that's
yeah.
bad or good. Like, that's where elitism comes from, because you've got a negative
Mm.
context. And that's what I'm trying to get out of, and that's the whole point of this.
So yeah, 8. What do you give it?
I'd, oh, yeah, I'd go 8 as well. I thought we would
Yeah.
have a rare occasion where the suggestee gives it a lower score then.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I would
That'd be
go
a good
8
one.
because yeah, I love this. ALP,
This set of music.
this mini album. Yeah,
That's
8
it.
for me. They've also got great
Oh,
merch,
nice.
which I'm tempted to get involved with because I want to give
Oh,
them money.
really?
I'm not going to come over. Yeah, good t-shirts, fun boys. Well done.
Slum dunk. Slam dunk. Good spelling, Danny.
Dunk millionaire.
Ben,
Hello.
get back on the camera.
Jesus.
Uh, we were just talking about slam dunk. What are you
Oh
saying?
yes, Labby D.
What are you saying?
Old Slam Dunk Millionaire. Uh, my initial thought was, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
same.
Um, but I mean, I'll be honest. The more I've looked at it, I'm not really sure why that was my initial thought because, I mean, I never really got into Alkaline Trio. Can you just pick that one week? I don't dislike them at all. I just never listen to them. I
I
don't know if people are
think
going to start to wonder what I do listen to.
that's going to be a hard one to get into because they're quite stark
I
and
missed the boat.
but they're very poppy and they're quite they've got a sense of humor in that some and they're quite intelligent in terms of like how some of the songs like refer to some of the like dark things. It's not all just like it's clever is basically
It's
what I'd
all,
say. And as a lyricist, he's very clever. They're
it
both
sounds
very
like you're
clever.
describing me, so why wouldn't I like them? Dark and clever. Uh, Yeah, I know the biggies, but for some reason, there's some bands that just pass you by. Just
Yeah.
never
All right, they're
speak to
coming
me.
up.
I'll say it. I don't know who a Data Remember are. I know they're massive. I haven't got a fucking clue. I think I saw them once. I don't know.
I recommended Chunk No Captain Chunk. They
Yeah,
are Data Remembers just that really.
just a non-French version of that. I don't want it.
Yeah, I think they came after Newfound Glory and kind of took that like 4 years strong. They've taken it a bit to the extreme, and I know I'm recommending Chunk No Captain Chunk, who are extreme,
Yeah,
but I think Data Remember sound a bit too serious sometimes with it, and that makes it not fun. Whereas Chunk No Captain Chunk just to me always sound like
they were
this
enough.
they're just doing the funniest thing they can with it. Like, okay,
Yeah,
can we drop this even lower? Like and slower. Like it almost feels like that, like there's a sense of humour with it. Data Remember do blur into that we were saying, the horns bit
yeah, I know
for
they're
me
massive.
sometimes. I find it really hard sometimes to find a reason why I'm not sure about a band. But they're
Yeah,
one where like I think they're all right. I'd watch them if I was like standing there with everyone having a beer.
yeah, lovely.
I wouldn't rush over.
I love Hot Mulligan. I love,
Same.
yeah, so good, man. I love Newfound Glory, obviously.
Obs. The
Electric
starting
Callboy.
line.
I've got a lot of time for Electric Callboy, and I
Never
don't
heard
mind
them.
admitting it.
Oh, okay. Nice.
They're a laugh.
Okay.
I think
I
they're
will
my
listen
guilty
to them.
pleasure. Um, but yeah, I mean, Straight from the Path I quite like. I would need some more. I'm probably going to go. People who don't know, I live very close to this, so I've got no excuse.
It's
It's like two.
basically in Ben's back garden.
Yeah,
It is literally 20 minutes max journey.
I know it's so bad. I feel like it's quite expensive now, but
It
I
is a
will
bit.
go next year. Yeah. What do you think? It's
My
like, mate.
immediate thing was like Alkaline Trio, and then as I looked through it, I was like, because I was like, okay, I've heard. I think the good thing for me was like we were saying about the Reading lineup before. I'd heard of all the bands on the list.
Yeah,
Like I
yeah.
wasn't like, oh, I don't like a Data Remember, like a Data Remember on top of my list of bands to see. But I'd probably, like I said, stand there if there was 4 or 5 other bands that I wanted to see. I'd stand and watch Data Remember in the evening or whatever. Like that sounds like fun. But like Alkaline Trio, I haven't seen for years, and they were the first band I ever saw live, and probably one of my top 10 favorite bands. So I was like, yes, need to go and see those boys. I missed Hot Mulligan at 2000 Trees and want to see them because I've fallen in love with them.
Yeah.
Knuckle Puck Copacetic is one of my favourite albums of theirs.
Oh,
Newfound
no.
Glory are the band that I've seen the most times out of any band. Uh, the Starting Line, I listen to their first album once a month, easy. It's the best, most poppiest album ever. Just
Really?
poppy pop punk. Have you not listened to Starting Line? I'll send you it. It's
No, I
just
can't
great.
picture that. I probably have. I can't.
I'm gonna put it on the recommendations.
Yeah, do it. I can't pluck them out at the minute. I
I
definitely
love
have.
I love Straight from the Path. Fucking love. And I
Yeah.
love I'm gonna forget mate your boy's name, the drummer. But
To
like
Craig.
love yeah, Craig Reynolds, yeah.
Yeah.
Like I love his drum videos, I love his podcast. So
Podcast is great, man.
podcast is top notch. It's probably
Good
like one of
egg.
the bit of an inspiration for this one a little bit in places. Movements I like. Neck
Yeah.
Deep I'd watch. I'm not like desperate on. I don't mind the used. I wouldn't probably watch them again. I Hit the Lights are actually all right, and Dream
Yeah.
Stay are pretty good as well. So I'd like already on there. The way I do it is if there's more than 4 bands that I
Yeah.
want to see on their own, then I'll probably go, and the rest will just be like good fun. Do you know what I mean?
That's a good way of doing it, man. Because
That's the way I'm looking.
if you think of how much a gig is nowadays, I guess
Yeah,
that's
30 quid anyway. Like, yeah, I'm just looking at his Alkaline Trio with really good support all
yeah,
day.
exactly. And they'll be adding loads now, like from now anyway. So
Yeah,
yeah,
100%.
I think it'll
Yeah, yeah.
definitely be worth it. I will go. I'll make the effort. It's a lovely, it's a good day out as well, isn't
Good
it?
day out, isn't it? Yeah, yeah.
Ground,
Good fun.
lovely. Hopefully, better bar queues.
And it was bad
They're
last
always
time.
the best, but yeah, I think it's solid enough. I will be all over that. I don't think I knew that Neck Deep and Knuckle Puck were different bands. I'll say it as the old man of the podcast.
See, you again on the recommendation ones. Who did I listen to? I've forgotten that. Ben Quad.
Yeah.
Knuckle Park sound a bit like that, but less jumpy
Okay.
aroundy. Somewhere between that and Story So Far. I think you'd like them. They're
Okay.
very good. They're very catchy. I think they'll be up your street. They're not my recommendation for today. I'll jump onto that actually because we're on
Oh
it.
yeah. Do it.
Off the back of Ben Quad, and not a band that I was like, it was kind of based on drummers because their drummer plays pop punk, but just completely different. Or he did. I think he's left now. But I'm going to recommend a band called The Dangerous Summer,
Oh, nice.
and the album is called Golden Record.
Let me write it down.
And I'm dropping you in on the album that I got into them on. It's a bit
Right.
emo-y. It's a bit like, as in like sad emo, like
Yeah.
brand new Deja, if we're allowed to say that, but like based purely on the music. But like that kind of saddy kind of emo, but they're also just technically a really good band, and it's a great album. Like I'm ruining it for next week, but like I love that album, so that's why I'm
Awesome.
recommending that one. And it's ever so slightly just the jumpy around drums. It's a bit more straight up, but like the jumpy around and interesting drums made me think of that album. Don't know
Yeah.
why. So that's my recommendation.
I'm excited, man. I know the name, but yeah, I've not listened to that. Perfect.
Cool.
I'm going to go for. I changed my mind actually because this week one of my favourite bands ever, and we'll go into this more next week, announced
Go on.
that they're coming to the UK for the first time. They never did back in the day, so I'm really, really excited. And I don't think you've listened to them, but I'll change my mind quickly if you have. But it's Bear versus Shark. Yes.
They were one of them
Um,
ones that loads of people told me to listen to when I was younger, but didn't.
possibly. But yeah, I fucking love them, and I'm very excited. And I got tickets.
Oh,
Uh,
nice.
and yeah, maybe listen to the first album. That is my favourite, I think. Right now, you're in the best of hands.
Right
It's an
now.
absolute Lily banger.
Okay, I'm in.
Done.
Done.